So I think my only sort of drawback from this that I can see so far is Ryan is a lot smarter than me. When I'm looking at these stats, I'm having a bit of trouble working it out or what it means. But
Oh, look,
um,
it's just number of. Hang on. Oh, I love it. I love it.
so
Numbers.
what it is it's a graph showing how many cards have been graded from January 22 to January 23.
Yep.
The He's had two quite large spikes. In February 22, he had 2,300 graded in the month, and then October 22, he had 2,200. But I would say progressively the number of his cards graded has come down. So the last statistic is January 23, and that was 706, which is his lowest.
Yeah.
And so what I would take away from this is just showing the Wiseman market cooling off.
Yeah, true.
I think, at the start, there's obviously that huge buzz. Whether the kid can play or not, is almost irrelevant. It's just all the buzz around it. And
Yep.
then as you've sort of seen over time, he either has been not been healthy or he's been in the G League and really, struggled to stay into the Golden State rotation.
Well, I definitely think the January 23 numbers are a direct reflection. You've seen the drop off with like 1,200 in December and then only 700 in January.
Yeah.
Wiseman's gone. As far as that's what people were thinking. They're like, yeah, no, that's not stock we're investing in.
Yeah.
The follow up about the data that we're looking at.
Yeah.
I'm just conscious and trying to be mindful of when cards are released. So when Prism comes out, is that where we see the biggest spike in cards graded?
Yeah.
Because obviously the Silver Prism is the creme de la creme of getting cards graded. So post that Prism release, you'd see a spike. So we just don't want the data to be sort of misinterpreted. I think the February spike might be in conjunction with, was that the Hoops release? Hoops and Donruss have come out for the... That's just me speculating.
Look, I think that's probably a very fair and reasonable thing to say, but I think
we're seeing a trend. You're right.
Yeah, I think here for me it's pretty clear of really what's going on with this. Yep. The only thing I can sort of say to defend this is that the NBA is obviously about talent, but it's also about circumstance.
Yeah,
and you could very well argue that the worst possible team that Wiseman could have been drafted by was the Warriors. And I think if you look back at that, the person that would have been better for that would have been LaMelo Ball. And then even better again, Halliburton. Maybe he went, that's going pretty high at that spot, but 2020 vision is like a wonderful thing.
It is true.
And putting someone like Wiseman in there who's all athlete and not very much IQ and basketball finesse into a team that is all finesse and all IQ, that doesn't make much sense at all, you know? So I think him going to a team that probably just runs a bit more sort of standard stats instead of constant read and react and motion like the Warriors do, maybe actually Wiseman might be able to, contribute.
That's true.
The other thing you need to keep in mind here is Wiseman's age. So Wiseman's only 21 years old, despite the fact that this is now his third year in the league.
Yep.
So Mo Bamba, by contrast, is 24 years of age.
Yep. It's interesting. It's always interesting that gap.
Even
when
though
you enter the league, is sort of a one and done versus a 4-year.
You can still say there's time to prospect on Mo Bamba, right? And you can still say there's time for this guy to get hot, but at the same time, the market has completely cooled off James Wiseman.
Yep.
And not the bottom's fallen out, but
I think it's interesting overall. I think this trade in particular, we're looking at 3 very interesting prospects because they're all relatively young, and I'm actually thinking that hobby-wise, this could be good for all players.
Yeah.
Do you think someone like James Wiseman going to Detroit? Now Detroit need to find an identity, right? And they're still they're in this building process. They're trying to get some decent draft picks and build something for the future.
Yeah.
Wiseman could be a key piece here.
Yeah.
in Detroit, and could be part of the resurgence.
I think Detroit's done a really good job of putting together young talent and
Yep.
picking up young talent in times of distress. Like they picked up Bagley for nothing. They picked up Wiseman essentially for nothing. You know, so I agree with you. I think Detroit have done a really good job of.
They lost their 50-point man in Sadiq Bey. Now that said, Sadiq Bey in Atlanta could be interesting.
Yeah. So let's do a hobby grade for Wiseman. What do you give for this?
Wiseman.
Yeah.
I'll give him a B plus.
Yeah.
Because I think this could be the resurgence. I was so close to an A minus, but I still think B plus because it's Detroit. Let's not get too far